Everybody, I'm Jana the Home Bogger here in northern Colorado, United States of America, Northern Hemisphere. Happy spring to those in the Southern Hemisphere. I've seen pictures of your plants and I know they're doing well. Here we got winter coming on. I've got to get my plants covered up for the winter. They're already pretty much dormant. I've got all my supplies ready to go, all the coverings, all the pine straw, and I'll tell you the step-by-step of what I do in my climate to make sure that my plants live over the winter and I have a successful spring and summer next year. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about one of the most important products that I use in order to insulate my bogs, and that's pine straw, which is just pine needles. So go rake them up somewhere. The pine needles do not rot away in the bogs. I leave them loose. They mix up well, they tuck in well, they don't get slimy, and they allow water to go through without causing rot down at the base of the plants. This stuff is very important. Get it when you can. I highly recommend it. Okay, first step. I've got some little poles here to stick around the bogs. These ones are metal with a plastic coating. I find out that they hold up very well to wind and everything else. They don't rot away. Have those in the ground. I've cleaned up my bog plants. All the Sarracenia, all the little bits and pieces, or the dead stuff is pretty well gone. I've watered in my bog real well, and now I'm ready for the next step. Okay, step 2. I've got my pine straw. I've started mixing this up in with my plants. I usually shake some in first, tuck it in a little bit so there aren't a lot of holes. Get that good insulation in everywhere. I don't need to put it on all just yet, because the next thing I'm going to do is put on some wrap around the poles to hold my pine straw in place. That'll keep the wind from blowing it away in the winter. Step 3, covering up your bog completely. I have several different supplies that I can use that I like. Shade cloth is great, burlap is great, frost cloth is fine. Here's the main thing. You want to be able to allow the snow or rain to permeate these and water your bogs over the winter time. It's very important. If it snows here, I shovel snow on top of these and let it slowly melt down into the bogs. So you just take your piece of cloth, whatever it is you want to use, it's handy for you. Tuck it in around the edges, because I've filled up this bog as much as I need to with pine straw. And now we're ready for step 4. Okay, now we're ready for step 4. But first I want to tell you the reason that I do what I do here with my bogs, that cover them the way that I do, is I live in a zone 4 to 5. And so our winters here can be very dry, they can be very windy. So this keeps all of my Sarracenia, all of my Drosera, all my plants nice and damp over the winter time. Yes, they might still freeze, but these are going to keep them well insulated. And so there you go. That's why I do this here where I live. You might need to change up how you do it where you live, but northern areas, you can still do this because I do it. If I can do it, you can do it. 4th step, very important. You need a high quality guard critter for your bogs for the winter time. This little tortoise is going to keep this bog nice and safe over the winter time, and then in the springtime all the plants will be happy because this tortoise will have kept them happy. Okay, as you can see, I got my work done. I have 12 to 18 inches of pine straw on each one of these bogs. I've got the tops on. I've got their little guard critters on. They're all ready, and I'm ready. It's going to be a good winter. It's supposed to be really cold this week. It's early November, but that's okay. It's Colorado, and I think I'm going to see all my little plants and you back in the spring.